All right, welcome to this quick training that's going to be about the desk tools, and this one's going to be about hotkeys and keyboard shortcuts. Now, this isn't a desk tool that you go out and actually buy, but this is absolutely critical in order to help you with your business. What is it? It's called hotkeys. What are hotkeys? Hotkeys are basically just keyboard shortcuts, and there's a couple that are going to be absolutely critical for you to be familiar with. So on a computer, this is part of using a computer, you got to learn how to be able to copy, paste, select all, undo, and then the keyboard shortcuts for this, depending on if you are on a Mac or a Windows. On a Mac computer, an Apple computer is going to be the command button, okay? And then on a Windows computer, it's going to be the control button, okay? But it's going to be copy is always going to be command or control C, paste is going to be command or control V, select all is going to be command or control A, and undo is going to be command or control Z. Now, these are the basic, very, very basic foundational command keys or the keyboard shortcuts. And there are many, many, many other ones, right? So if you just go out there and type in must know hotkeys or must know keyboard shortcuts, they're going to walk you through some of the most important ones. This is a skill or a habit that you don't necessarily memorize, but it's something that the more you use them, the more habitual you become with them, and the easier it gets to be able to actually work around with a business. Now, the kind of parallel skill that is involved with this is really your typing speed, okay? Because this is the skill that entire hotkeys keyboard shortcut skill sits on top of. And the truth is that you got to understand that if your typing speed sucks, this might be something that is worth for you to actually invest in getting the repetition to develop your skill, because it's just a habit. And then you got to be able to understand, like, cool, hey, what is the knowledge that is going to allow me to be able to understand how does the actual right way to type? And then what is the actual way that I can build the repetition and habitual pattern in my hands in order to do that? It's the exact same thing that when you go to the gym, you get the knowledge of, like, cool, how do I squat? How do I deadlift? How do I bench press? All of that stuff. And then through repetition, you get that form over and over and over and over again. And the cool thing about this is that for every 2 hours and 40 minutes that you practice, there's a lot of studies that have shown that if you just practice for 2 hours and 40 minutes, your typing speed is going to go up by 1 word per minute for life. Imagine how much you could save and how much time you could save for the rest of your life if you just got better typing speed once and for all. And so this is an absolute massive game changer to actually work on your keyboard shortcuts, your hotkeys, your typing speed as a whole as a business owner, because of the fact that you can literally go out there right now and you just go to Google and you type in typing speed test, and you can see, hey, what is your actual typing speed right now? And if it's less than, let's say, 40 words per minute, then you're going to really struggle with making a career in business, especially if you're trying to do any sort of online business or any sort of business in general. You got to get that keyboard typing speed up to at least 65 to 70 words per minute, because it's going to really help you. And I'll be honest with you, many of our community members, myself included, we type at over 100 words per minute on a keyboard. This is what allows you to be more effective and efficient when you are working on a computer, so that way you're not taking so many hours in order to actually get the same amount of work done. Now, after hearing that, does that mean that you should now become a negative Nancy? Does that mean that you should just go ahead and say, you know what, I'm doomed, I can't actually type on a keyboard, you know what's going to happen with me? No, of course not. Nobody was born knowing this stuff. You don't want to be a entrepreneur, a negative Nancy. You got to have a winner's mindset around this and say, hey, you know what? If I invest in this, I can get better. But number one rule of entrepreneurship is what? Use what it is that you have. And so this is not something that you're just sitting around and saying, you know what, I can't build a business until I'm typing 65 words per minute. That makes no sense. You want to make sure that you're working on this in the background. We're just planting the seeds for you to know what is actually important. And just remember, it is a skill just like anything else that you might have done in your entire life. You got the knowledge of what it actually is. Do the repetition, do the repetition, do the repetition, do the repetition. That is how you unlock the skills. The more skills you have, you stack those skills, and that then creates the outcomes that you have in your life. The more practice, the faster you will type. It's as simple as that. And remember, hotkeys and keyboard shortcuts are a big piece of this as well. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go ahead and remind you of the FDR quote. He says, the only limit to our realization of tomorrow, making your dreams a reality, is the doubts that you have today. And so as long as you keep on pushing through the difficult work that needs to get done, as long as you go out there and build the desk tools, take the time to actually set these things up properly, you can build the future that you want to have in your life. You're doing fantastic. Keep on going. Ride that wave of momentum. This has been this training on the hotkeys and keyboard shortcuts. We're going to go ahead and catch you in the next training section.